SWARM organizations use a role-based organization design. But what actually is that? How does it work? And how can we use it to make our organizations more future-proof? If we look at traditional hierarchical organizations, we see that they're mostly formal, fixed, and set up in 2 dimensions. They have fixed functional domains like marketing, finance, logistics, and they have fixed authority levels like a board of directors, management, operational people, etc. It is a relatively simple structure with single functions of power and expertise. However, they are not very flexible, efficient and innovative. They are not capable of fast change and therefore they are not future-proof. Now, when we compare this with self-organizing collectives, like we can see in natural swarms, we see that they are non-hierarchic. They have no fixed structure, positions, leadership and communication. Yet remarkably, they are much more flexible, efficient, innovative and future-proof. How do they do that? Well, they use what is known as a role-based organization design. A swarm organization facilitates self-organization of fully autonomous individuals, meaning that no one tells them what to do. There's no fixed hierarchy and no fixed leaders. They follow a common goal, also known as their purpose, and that purpose is their boss. So a swarm is designed around roles. Individuals autonomously assume a role, but only when there's a need for it. And it works like this. Imagine a fish on the inside of the school. It can't possibly see what's going on outside and therefore it assumes the role of a follower. But a fish on the outside can see what's happening. Is there food? Is there danger? And that one then autonomously assumes the role and the responsibility of a leader. But the school is not a second the same. When the situation changes, the whole swarm flips the other way and the roles jump from one individual to another. Actually, one individual can have many different roles within a very short time. This means that leadership is situational and distributed, and that the authority is in the role and not in the individual. This is called simultaneous generalism and specialism, and it makes them incredibly flexible, efficient and innovative. On top of that, they all mirror each other's behavior. So they all know what the whole school knows. Every individual is in fact a mini copy of the whole. The swarm is holographic. It behaves like a single organism. Altogether, this role-based behavior makes them extremely future-proof. But can we humans use these principles to become more future-proof? Well, yes, we can. It already happens, and we call them DAOs. DAOs are self-organizing, purpose-driven network collectives that use AI, blockchain and smart contracts to create decentralized autonomous organizations. Now, how do those swarm DAOs use role-based design? It all starts with determining the purpose of an organization. For what need does it exist? This is about the why, and from there on they build the organization. Now, allow me an example to clarify this. Imagine a higher societal goal, in this case good health for all people. And you could call this a meta role or a meta domain, just give it a name. It is a role in society. But evidently this requires a much bigger effort of many different specialisms. It requires doctors, hospitals, medicines, but also physical exercise, equipment. These are all different roles that contribute to the same goal, the same purpose, and we call these domain roles or subdomains, which may represent an entire sector, an organization, or an individual business. Thus, the domain role medical doctors is in fact an entire business, which in turn has roles like marketing, logistics, finance, etc. And we call these department or team roles. And then within the team roles, we define individual roles like a designer, a performer, a leader, a follower. These roles are then fulfilled, swapped or shared when needed from a pool of internal or external individuals that exhibit the required motivation, attitude, and skill set. Now, the key insight to comprehend this is that all these roles exist in full from the very moment the organization purpose or the meta purpose is defined. So from the minute we said we're going to make all people healthy, all these roles existed. Yet they are only fulfilled when a need for them arises. And the better an organization is at describing these roles, the better it will be at fulfilling them. Now, an easy way to get an idea of this is if you think of it like a stage play. If you decide you want to play Shakespeare's King Lear, all the roles necessary immediately exist in full, even if they're not fulfilled yet. So a role can have several different actors, and an actor can have several different roles. So again, what is a role-based organization? It is an essential model for creating self-organizing collectives. Roles are necessary to flexibly fulfill the purpose of an organization. They exist from the very moment the purpose is set, and they are defined by a unique, meaningful name and a number of tasks, but only materialize when the need for them arises. They can be shared and exchanged and are absolutely independent from whoever is fulfilling them. Now, when we take this all together and project that on a SWARM DAO, we'll see that those collectives save us time and effort, they reduce risk, they improve status and imago, and it brings us more value. It is clear that change doesn't slow down, it only accelerates. To remain relevant in the future, we in our organization must adapt much faster and thus also organize ourselves much faster. Now, our solution is to create DAOs based on swarm organization, a symbiosis between nature, humanity and technology, a highly adaptive, self-organizing system where people are matched to their purpose. SWARM DAOs are the organization model for the future.